Good day, my wonderful dear students. I am Mr. Olawale Benishola, your commerce teacher. Welcome to another interesting lesson brought to you by Gosa Virtual Learning. Today, we will be exploring an essential topic as usual within the WAEC syllabus. Guess what? The topic is what? Home trade, with a specific focus on retail trade. We will dive into the functions of retailers, factors to consider when starting a retail business, reasons for success or failure, and various types of retail outlets. Don't waste your time. Join me on this journey. As usual, you should get your writing materials ready. We will be starting with our lesson objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will understand the following as a student. You understand the key functions of a retailer in the distribution chain. Identify crucial factors to consider when starting a retail business. Recognize reasons behind the success or failure of a retail business. Differentiate between small scale and large scale retailing. Identify and understand various types of retail outlets. Let's kick up today's show by defining the meaning of a retail trade. What exactly is a retail trade? A retail trade, first of all, is a part of home trade. But before I dive into retail trade, let me take you back and let me define what home trade is. Home trade, this is the act of buying and selling of goods and services within a country. It can also be referred to as an internal trade. For example, when you're buying and selling of goods like fish and pepper at my 12 market in Lagos State. Now let us move further. Retail trade can be defined as involves selling of goods in units, that means in pieces like one or two, to the final consumer, that is both me and you, in selling small quantities from the wholesaler. And wholesaler is a part of a middleman, we will still talk about that, or directly from the manufacturers. In other words, goods are sold in pieces or in units to the final users through retail trade. The people who engage in retail trades are known as retailers. A retailer is one who acts as a final link between the wholesalers and ultimately the consumer. They purchase in small quantities from the producer or wholesalers and make goods available to the final consumers. Retailing completes production process because it is the last link that is the next to the consumers of the products in the chain of distribution. They are found in big cities and local areas. Different kinds of goods are stored by the retailers. Example, we have rice, sugar, candle, etc., etc. Moving on to the next phase of retail trade, let us talk about the functions of a retailer. What are the functions of a retailer? A retailer play a crucial role in the distribution chain. Their main functions include, first of all, do you know that they break bunk? Yes, breaking of bunk. A retailer buy goods in large quantities from an wholesaler and sell them in smaller quantities to a consumer. An example, when a retailer buys an 100 carton of soap and sell individual bars or individual units to a consumer. Do you know they also provide information? Yes, a retailer also provide information. Retailers inform customers about new products, their uses, and prices. Example, a retailer explains the features of a new smartphone to a consumer. Do you also know that the old stock? A retailer maintains varieties of goods to meet customers' demands. Example, a grocery store keep different brands of rice in stock. Do you know that they also extend credit? Some retailers offer credit facilities to regular customers. Example, a neighborhood shop allows a customer to buy groceries on credit and pay at the end of the month. Do you know that they also offer after-sales service? Retailers often provide services like installation, repairs, and returns. Example, an electronic stores that offer free installation for purchase of an air conditioner. Or you can also talk about products like Samsung or Infinix, like phones, and so on and so forth. You can go back when you have issues with your devices. Other functions include purchase of goods from the wholesaler. Goods are stocked in varieties. Provisions of credit facilities to customers, provisions of after-sales services, transportation and delivery, provision of information to the wholesalers, door-to-door selling, provision of technical advice to the customers, Selling in units to the customers. Let me just explain a few of the ones I've just mentioned. Provisional after sales service, which I've mentioned earlier on. Let's talk about door-to-door selling. The customers do not need to go too far a distance as the retailer ensures the goods are brought to the doorsteps of the customers. An example, we have Jumia, which is an online retail outlet. Provision of technical advice to customers. What does this mean? It can also give expert advice to the customers on how to use a product which it sells. Selling in units to customers, which was part of the definition we spoke about a retailer. It is the duty of the retailer to sell goods in units to the customers. An example, we have a cube of sugar. It's time to proceed to another dimension, another aspect, another universe of a retail trade. Now, we are going to be talking about factors to consider in starting a retail business. Now, this implies on what are the necessary things you need to look at before you start up a retail business. As I've said earlier on, as I've defined a retail business, the number one thing you need to look at is location. Choosing a location with high foot traffic and easy accessibility. Example, setting up a convenience store near a residential area or busy street. Let us look at the capital. Capital is the second factor you should consider before you start up a business. Ensure you have sufficient and enough funds to cater and cover initial cost and sustain operation. Example, calculating the cost of rent, inventory, equipment, and working capital for the first few months. We have target market. Who are the people you want to sell your product or service to? Identify your potential customers and needs. Example, a bookstore near a university with target students and academics. We also have competition. You should also consider your competitors. Analyze existing business in that area and find your unique selling points. This has been a problem with other retailers that they're just starting without looking at their competitors. If there are many general stores, consider specializing in organic products, which will make you different from other competitors. The next one, we have legal requirements. You must obtain necessary license and permit. An example, registering your business with the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, and obtaining a tax identification number will save you a lot of time against the law. I am not done yet. Other factors you should consider are the nature of goods. The nature of goods should be considered. Some goods are perishable while some are technical. Example, we look at industrial goods. Source of supply. Who are your suppliers as a retailer? Who will be your major point of supply? Decisions as to where to get supplies to replenish your stock is equally important. Does one rely on the wholesaler or directly from the producer who makes those products or services? A decision should be taken on this in order to reduce the cost of transportation and logistics. We also have pricing policy. In setting up a retail business, one should consider whether to charge low or high price depending on the market. He has to consider whether to give discounts or not. Should we look about the structure of population and location of the shop, which I've explained earlier on under the factors, but I want to go deeper because this is one important thing you need to understand as a retail business. The structure of the population and the location of shop should be considered. Business should be located where there are many potential buyers and where they can easily be located. Advertising strategy inciting a retail business. The best advertising strategy that will create awareness for the product that will ensure increase in sales should also be considered. We also have terms of payment. What kind of payment do you want your customers to be paying you? The retailer should consider whether he will grant credit facilities or sell on cash and carry basis. I am not done yet. Other things you should think about before you start a retail business are based on experience. Do you have the technical knowledge to start a business as a retailer? What about choice of outlet? The type of outlet should be taken into consideration. Decisions should be taken as to whether hawking or market store or urban store will be preferred for the kind of business you want to do. Now, let us move to another level. There's something I want you to know. Starting a business is not always rosy. You are not expected to just be making profits every time. There are some aspects that you realize some stages in failures. This is what we want to talk about. What are the reasons that you might experience failure as a retail trader? The first thing you should look at, number one, poor location. Setting up shop in an area with low foot traffic or inconvenient access. can make it possible that you have a low patronage for your business in wherever locality which your shop is. The second one we are looking at is inadequate capital. Yes, running out of funds before the business becomes profitable. That's why as part of what you should have, as part of the factors of what you should have before starting a retail trade is having a adequate capital and funds to run the business. We also have mismanagement, lack of proper accounting, inventory control, or staff management. We also have ignoring customer feedback, failing to address customer complaints or suggestion can bring a lot of failures. We have intense competition, unable to differentiate from competitors or compete effectively. These are one of many reasons why you will fail in a retail trade. We are progressing. This is another aspect of a retail trade. Do you know that a retail trade is divided into two? Yes, we have the small scale and we have the large scale. Take note, small scale and large scale. So I'm going to be breaking them down for you. Which one of them belong to the small scale and which one of them belong to the large scale. But before that, let me quickly explain what a small scale retailing are. These are retail units which are small scope of operation in terms of mode of operation and capital availability. They are itinerant hawkers, road traders, mobile shop, unit store owners, kiosks, and tight shop, etc. Let me give you a pure reality example. That is like your POS, meat sellers on the street, biscuit sellers. These are pure examples of small scale retailers that we have in reality. Now, let me tell you those that we have on that small scale. As I've said, let me repeat myself again. Hawkers, roadside sellers, market traders, village stores, tied shops, market shops, kiosks, small stores. Now, let me explain large-scale retailing. Large-scale retailing is also the other aspect of small scale. Due to changes in economic trend, most retail business have evolved into large-scale retailing. Nowadays, we have some large-scale retailers who buy in bulk directly from manufacturers. Some manufacturers even have their own retail shops, e.g. Bata, Nigeria. So what are the classifications that we have under large-scale retailers? We have departmental stores, supermarkets, chain stores, cooperative shops, mail order firms, hypermarket, franchising, discount houses. Now, the next phase, I'll be explaining each and every one of these classifications under small scales and large scales. They also have their own universe. They also have their own world on their own. Now, let me start with small scale retailing. What are the characteristics of a small scale retail? Little capital, few workers are employed, price is determined through haggling, labor intensive system, and mostly it is a one-man business. Now, let us now look at each and all these classifications as I've mentioned earlier on. I'm going to be starting with stores. Stores are small, temporary and semi-permanent structure for selling goods. Example, a fruit stall in a local market. We have the unit shop. They are small. They are independently owned stores specialized in a particular line of goods. Example, a local bakery selling bread and pastries like cakes or chin chin. We also have hawkers, you can also call them itinerant traders. They are mobile sellers who move from one place to another to sell goods. Example, a person selling newspaper on the street. We also have kiosks, small enclosed structures for selling small fast-moving consumer goods. Example, a kiosk selling snacks and drinks at a bus stop. We also have mobile shops, vehicles converted into shops that move to different locations. Example, a van selling ice cream or yogurt in different neighborhood. You can see them around with their little ringing tone. We also have the supermarket. Well, I'm about to move into the large scale. Now, let us talk about large scale. I've defined what large scale traders are, but I'm going to go deep into the classifications. Number one that we are going to look at is supermarkets. They are large self-service stores selling a wide varieties of food and household goods. Example, we have ShopRite, Spar supermarket. The next one we're looking at is chain stores. Multiple retail outlets owned and operated by the same company. Example, the body shop branches across different locations. We have our departmental stores, that is our next one. They are large retail establishments offering a wide range of products organized into separate departments. We have Palm Shopping Mall in Lagos. We have shopping malls too also. That's our next one that we are looking at. They have large buildings on complexes containing various retail stores, restaurants, and sometimes entertainment facilities. An example, Ikeja City Mall in Lagos. The next one that we're looking at is what? Hypermarket. They are very large retail facilities combining a supermarket and a departmental store. An example, we have wholesaler stores or cash and carry outlets. The next one I'm looking at is mail order business. These are retailers that sell products through catalogs or online platform and deliver directly to customers. Example, we have Jumia or Konga online shopping platforms. Now we are moving on to the next phase. That is our WAEC revision questions. For every questions, you have to take your time, relax, and think about the answers before you proceed. Thank you as we move on. Question number 1 coming from year 2019, which goes like this. Which of the following is not a function of a retailer? Breaking bulk, holding stock, manufacturing goods, providing information. Take your time. What's your answer? The correct answer is option C. Let me explain. Manufacturing goods. Retailers primarily distribute goods. They don't typically manufacture them. Options A, B, and D are all important functions of a retailer. Next question. What is the term for a retail outlet that sells a wide variety of goods organized into different departments? This one's coming from year 2020. Option A, supermarket. Option B, departmental store. Option C, chain store. And option D, hypermarket. Take a moment to consider this. The correct answer is option B, departmental store. Departmental stores are characterized by their division into various departments, selling different types of goods. We are moving on. Which factor is least important when starting a retail business? This one is coming from year 2018. Location, capital, number of employees, target market. Think about the factors that we have discussed earlier on. Wow, the correct answer is option C, number of employees. Let me explain why staffing is important. It is not as crucial as location, capital, or understanding your customer target market when starting a retail business. What type of retail outlet is best described as a small, enclosed structure for selling fast-moving consumer goods? This one is coming from year 2018. Option A, we have unit store. Option B, stall. Option C, kiosk. And option D, mobile shop. Consider the characteristics of each type of outlet. Was your answer? The correct answer is option C, kiosk. Kiosks are typically small, enclosed structures used for selling small, fast-moving consumer goods. We are gradually moving to the end of this lesson. Let me take you through the summary of what we have covered so far. In this lesson, we have covered the functions of retailers in the distribution chain. Important factors to consider when starting a retail business. Factors for the success or failure of a retail business. The difference between small scale and large scale retailing, various types of retail outlets from unit shops to hypermarkets. Now let me tell you this. Do you know that understanding retail trade is crucial in our daily lives? Let me tell you something. As consumers, we interact with various types of retail outlets regularly. This knowledge can help you make informed decisions about where to shop based on your needs. For those of you that are interested in being this business, these concepts are fundamental if you are considering starting your own retail venture or retail outlet. Let me encourage you this. I encourage you, I implore you to observe the retail outlet in your local area. Try to identify their types, consider their location, and think about why they might be successful or struggling. This practical application of your knowledge will deepen and make you understand more and prepare you well for your WAEC exams. Thank you for your attention during this lesson. If you have any question or feedback or for further clarification, please do not hesitate to drop your comments under this video. Keep studying hard, and remember, understanding these concepts not only helps you in exams but also in real life situation. Best of luck in your studies. My name is Olawale, and once again, I am signing out on behalf of Igota Virtual Learning. Stay blessed and signing out.